Yes, we can see.
That's good.
Okay, it is 10:31 now. Let me take the privilege to start this fifth webinar of the International Monthly Webinar Series on issues related to rural economies. We have today Dr. Ghaffar Ali, who is an associate professor at the College of Management, Shenzhen University, China. Dr. Ghaffar is ranked among top 2% of the researchers of the world, a recent ranking by Stanford University, USA. He's also among top 1% peer reviewers of the world as declared by Web of Science, that is the Publons. He is also serving as an editor of two international journals earlier. He has served various international institutions, including the Asian Institute of Technology, Thailand, United Nations, Thailand, the Chinese Academy of Sciences, China, the University of Agriculture, Faisalabad, Pakistan, and Mahidol University, Thailand. He is an experienced researcher with almost 10 years of experience in research and teaching. Dr. Ghaffar has received his PhD from AIT with distinction, the highest award of AIT. Furthermore, till date, Dr. Ali has published over 60 research papers in leading research journals, conference books, book chapters, and working papers. He has more than 30 international academic awards, including from Science Direct, Web of Science, Government of Pakistan, China, Thailand, and USA. He has produced two PhDs and multiple MSc MPhil students. Recently, he has published an article in Nature group of journals and became member of Nature Science. He is member of many academic societies, especially IEEE Energy and Power, ISDS Japan, and Chinese Economic Society USA. Last but not the least, one of his outstanding achievements is that his research findings were recently cited by the researchers of Harvard University and MIT, the USA. With these words, over to you, Dr. Ghaffar. I welcome my teacher, Professor Dr. Mohammad Ashfaq. Welcome, sir. Over
Well,
to you, Dr. Ghaffar.
so let's begin the show. Let me present here, open this again because this software is a little bit tricky. And okay, can you see my
Yes, we can.
presentation? Okay, all right. Okay, can you see the first slide?
Yes.
All right. Bismillah. In the name of Allah, the most beneficent, the merciful. We praise him and glorify him as he is ought to be praised and glorified. So my teachers, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm going to present today or just to discuss some developments regarding the Belt and Road Initiative and SDGs. And I would like to first of all thank UF, Dr. Muhammad Khalid Bashir and the IARE for inviting me and giving me a chance to present my views and ideas about the recent developments. These are the contents of my presentation today. I will speak about BRI, its some developments, its links to SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals, and highlights of CPEC. Yeah, one case study of CPEC, opportunities for Pakistan and for the staff of the university, opportunities for students, and conclusion. Okay, well, so just to give an overview of BRI, because BRI Belt and Road Initiative is a very common notion and idea and a concept which is available in plenty, abundantly everywhere. We can find plenty of information. So I'll not go deeply into the background or the information, but however, I would like to give an overview that from where it started actually and how is it going now. So in September 2013, basically the President Xi Jinping of China visited Kazakhstan, and he mentioned that China wants to build an economic corridor and wants to connect different economies of the world. Later on, he visited Indonesia in 2013, and he explained the same, and but he added another word of maritime Silk Road and Silk Road economic belt. But that time he was very much clear about how he is going to, or how China is going to plan and build these types of roads. So economic corridor word for first time was used by Asian Development Bank in 1998, and from there the idea flow coined in, and then China picked it accurately and started to work on the economic roads in the world. So there are two we need to understand that how economic corridors are planned and suggested and are working in different economies of the world. So maritime Silk Road is basically it's a sea-based economic route starting from East China, passing over the South China Sea, Red Sea, Indian Ocean, and the Mediterranean Sea, and intersecting with the Silk Road economic belt. This is basically a sea route, and Silk Road economic belt is inland connection, or the road network among Europe, Africa, Asia, East Asia, South Asia, Southeast Asia, and many different countries. So Silk Road economic belt and maritime Silk Road are two initiatives of the Chinese government. Initially, uh, it was Belt and Road. Its name was One Belt, One Road. OBOR, OBOR. So later on in 2015, it was changed into BRI, Belt and Road Initiative, because of the fact that project is not just limited to one road and one belt, but it includes several infrastructure initiatives. So OBOR changed to BRI in 2015. These are the six economic corridors which are Silk Road economic belts, roads, and specifically starting from the number one is China Mongolia Russian economic corridor. Second is New Eurasian land bridge. Third is China Central Asia West Asia. Fourth one is China Indochina Peninsula, and fifth is China Pakistan economic corridor. And sixth one is Bangladesh, China, India, and Myanmar economic corridor. Now, let me show you on the map by drawing how this Silk Road economic belt, or which we call as economic corridors, are working. So mm, uh, the first economic corridor, which I just mentioned, is of China, Mongolia, Russia economic corridor, which is starting from the east of China, crossing Mongolia and going to the Russia. This is the first economic corridor. Second one is Eurasian, which is starting from almost from the Shanghai and crossing the Russia and ending somewhere in the Netherlands. Third economic corridor is starting from the east of China and touching here and crossing Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan, Iran, and ending somewhere in the Turkey. This is third one. Fourth economic corridor is starting from China, crossing Kashgar, and ending somewhere in the Gwadar. Fifth economic corridor is again starting from here, this part of China, crossing Laos, Vietnam, Thailand, and going towards the Malaysia. And Singapore is basically connected with the maritime Silk Road. Last but not least, the sixth one corridor is covering Myanmar, Bangladesh, India, and connected to this corridor. And what I spoke earlier regarding the maritime Silk Road, that is covering this part of this area here, and moving and going to the different parts of the world. Now, this is a very much clear picture I try to draw about the Silk Road economic Belt and Maritime Silk Road. So this is how China is trying to connect with almost with the whole world. I will give you some statistics like over almost 71 economies are located along BRI route. Almost one by four projects are on transportation infrastructure. Travel time could decline by 12% along the corridors and 3% with the rest of the world if border delays are observed efficiently. Then BRE economies are close to 40% of global trade and 35% of foreign direct investment. And this data is from 2019. I hope it would have been improved this year, and next year statistics will be interesting. And then it interrelates economies with no less than 40% of the world's GDP. Moreover, 4.6 combined population of the world is attached to this project, and it touches 61% of the world population, 29 trillion US dollar combined GDP of all countries involved in this project, and 6 trillion trade between China and BRI countries have already been happened in the last few years. And estimated cost of infrastructure needs is 26 trillion, and China has already pledged, and a sufficient amount has already been invested by the China. So the whole idea of BRI and of this information is just to promote the socio-economic well-being of each country, and try and to reduce the poverty, increase the income level of the people, make trade more viable, and try to reduce the border delays, and a lot environmental, financial, social, cultural, and agriculture related projects, whatever you name, they are in BRI. Now, the the considering the top performers of BRI, because transport or infrastructure has a big chunk in this BRI project. So, in the on the basis of performance of last few years, China and BRI Group has listed top performers of BRI in transport infrastructure and the top bottom performers of BRI infrastructure. So let's have a look. First of all, the top performers of BRI transport infrastructure. Who are they? First of all, Hong Kong, SAR, Singapore, UAE. These are the three top performers of BRI transport infrastructure. Now let's have a look at the the bottom performer, the one who don't didn't perform well, and they are at the bottom in the top 20 list. Afghanistan, Bhutan, Iraq. Right, so we have BRI top performance. Now let's talk about the real income and poverty impacts of BRI, or how uh, BRI is working excuse me, is working in different projects. How did it affect impact on real income? For instance, if we have a look at the right hand side graph, right hand side image, where BRI economies and world real income percentage increase and mentioned, we clearly can see that basically these results are extracted from structural equilibrium, general equilibrium model, and computable general equilibrium model. It gives us the real income increased in different BRI economies and its comparison to the world, and which is very much obvious that but through both models, by any seven and 2.9% in real income of BRI economies. Now, real income gains are above 5%. I would like to mention here is for countries like Pakistan, Kyrgyzstan, Thailand, Cambodia, and Bangladesh. So this is the performance. Now, please have a look at the left-hand side image of this slide. It is also analysis of infrastructure improvement, reduced border delays, and reduced tariffs. Now, we here only have one model, general equilibrium model, and these results are extracted from that. And it shows us that real income gains for BRI economies are estimated to between 2 and 4 times. Now, along the corridors, travel time fall by up to 25% if border delays are reduced. And these are the landlocked countries.
Dr. Ghaffar, can you please unmute yourself?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes, I can.
So I was speaking of the border delays. If we can reduce 25% border delays, then Uzbekistan has already performed very well and achieved the efficiency from 1 to 9%. Now, we cannot say that I would like to spotlight on the risks as well. Of course, there are risks involved in the many BRI projects, investments. Of course, they are, if they are not planned well, if they're not implemented well, and if they are not taken care of. And also during the implementation process as well, always there are some types of risks, but they can be avoided. For example, canvas of BRI, these are also expected. What their details are, I won't go into the detail of these risks. It is very much available on the World Bank reports. Anybody can go and read it. This is one another interesting international trade map I found. We can see the network, the how China has covered the whole almost 70% of the world's trade, and that is mainly from the inland routes, the economic corridors, and definitely connecting to some other countries like South America or North America. There are some the sea routes as well, but majority falls in this area. This is a international trade map. Now let's have a look at the investment China made by region in Belt and Road economies, which is very much interesting in different parts of the world. This is one point of view. I have another point of view as well, because in the map in the left bottom corner, South Asia specifically is missing. So in the right hand side map, we have the South Asia. So 47% of the investment China is planning and already planned to invest in South Asia. And we all know that CPEC is one of the most darling project of China. So after the Southeast Asia, which is 57.3% contribution, Pakistan is the South Asia is at the number two. So we have a big chunk of investment by China in this region. The recent development, which I would like to mention, there are many, there are multiple. We can speak a whole week about the developments and the projects and plans of BRI. However, the recent one, which is very much interesting and it attracted me a lot, is regarding the Greater Bay Area. China is going to build a Greater Bay Area and almost has finalized the plan, and some projects already have begun. Greater Bay Area is a combination of three cities. We would say two countries and one city of China. Two cities are Hong Kong. Two countries are Hong Kong and Macau, plus Guangdong province, which is Shenzhen and Guangzhou and Zhuhai, which all lie here in this part of China. Yeah, this is how the it's covering the area of two countries and one city. So I'm sitting here in Shenzhen city, and this is where China is building its Greater Bay Area. The purpose of the Greater Bay Area is to make a hub, a commercial hub of China and of the region, and definitely it's going to be, because have a look at the statistics on your left hand side. Total Greater Bay Area is around 55,910 kilometers square, and 72.6 million population involved only in this Greater Bay Area, and the combined GDP of this Greater Bay Area is 11.6 trillion Chinese yuan currently, and total trade which is expected through the Greater Bay Area is 14.3 trillion Chinese yuan, and target of GDP by 2030 is 29.6 trillion Chinese yuan through only through this Greater Bay Area. I'm not speaking of the whole BRI or any other project, only from these three cities. Now this is going to be a game changer in China, in this east and south region of China and East Asia. In coming very quick few years, not far, only 4 or 5 years, GBA will be the center of trade and commercialization in China and around this part. So this is one of the recent developments which I highlighted already. Now, enough said on the BRI. Let's see the sustainable development goals. As we already again know that sustainable development goals.
Dr. Ghaffar, you are please unmute yourself again.
This software is playing automatically, huh? Because I didn't touch it.
Yes, there are some technical issues with Microsoft Teams, because everybody is not using a registered version. So it happens most of the times that the participants are removed and automatically, and the message is conveyed that someone has removed you.
Okay.
But this is unfortunate. Yes.
All right, no problem. Okay. Mean, and it is unavoidable. We must have to have contribute in the sustainable development goals in any way. So now how BRI is connected with the sustainable development goals, and how BRI is contributing to achieve these goals. Now we have almost 17 goals here, SDGs, and we already have discussed few points earlier under BRI. Let's have a look at which sustainable development goals are covered by BRI directly or indirectly. First of all, for example, no poverty. So definitely BRI is looking to improve the socioeconomic and well-being of the people, and to reduce the poverty. So they are definitely contributing in the goal number 1. And secondly, they are definitely contributing in the goal number 7, as a lot of energy projects are ongoing, especially in case of Pakistan. Then decent work and economic growth. This is also one of the key part of BRI, which is again very much relevant to the SDGs. Industry, innovation and infrastructure. This is also one of the goals of BRI. Sustainable cities and communities, and responsible consumption and production. These all are key parts of BRI, targets of BRI, and BRI is definitely going to cover all these SDGs. Then climate action, which is again not only relevant to SDGs or BRI, but to other parts, other the forums and other we are other signatories of other international organizations such as IPCC, UNFCCC, and COPs. So climate action is also covering through BRI. Life on land, which is a prime concern of BRI. Last but not least, partnerships for the goals. So overall, BRI is covering more than half of the SDGs. which I believe in the coming time it will increase its canvas, and it will also cover the goal number 2, goal number 3, goal number 5 and 6 somehow in the coming time, by the time it will be fully implemented. Thus far, more than 50% of SDGs are covered by BRI. So that's all about BRI. We have enough said about BRI. Now let's speak something about CPEC, because in the connection of Pakistan and University of Agriculture, Faisalabad, CPEC is one of the key concerns, and it's almost talk of the town nowadays in Pakistan. I heard a lot of people are speaking about this. So let me highlight few things about CPEC again. Plenty of information is available everywhere in the form of international publications, working papers, books, blogs, and reports. I would like to highlight or spotlight few of the factors. So CPEC first was signed back in May 2015 with a total of 51 agreements in different sectors, and with the total investment of $46 billion. And out of this, China pledged to contribute 70% almost, and 30% by the Pakistan. And through these projects, different types of road networks, railways, pipelines, fiber optics, energy projects, and Gwadar port was planned to construct or to build. So CPEC is very much important for Pakistan as well as for the China. If you can see the image or the figure on the right hand side, the distance from Shanghai to Kashmir to Pakistan is reduced by 1,500 miles, or even more than that once it's operative. So it's going to reduce the travel time. Second, it's going to reduce the border delays, and third, there is also a gate pass to the Middle East and some many African countries. So this is a very good opportunity for Pakistan as well as for the other economies as well, and this is a win-win situation for both stakeholders. So it's a golden opportunity for Pakistan, especially to develop, improve its infrastructure, energy sector, tourism, agriculture, and whatever you name it, because it's a comprehensive package. Now it depends on the CPEC authorities and the country how it reaps its benefit from this project. There are three types of milestones which are planned to be achieved through the CPEC: short term, medium term, long term. And in short term, it was planned to build first of all the road infrastructure and somewhat Gwadar port construction and the finalization, and then medium term projects. And according to medium term projects, there will be construction of fiber optic energy projects and some industrial zone. And in the long term plan, at the end, finally the industrial zones and economic zones will be finalized, operative, and will be ready for its function. So it will be totally functional by the end of 2030. Again, I have already mentioned about the investment, which is 45 billion USD, and CPEC is expected to create around 400,000 jobs. Because if you look at the graph on the right hand side, that the domestic workers are going to contribute hugely, almost 93%. And this graph shows that already this much workers have been engaged in this project, and 400,000 jobs till the end of 2030 are expected to have jobs through CPEC, by directly or indirectly. And then there is the projects are multiple and in different sectors. There is a road infrastructure investment with 6.1 billion, railway infrastructure with 3.69, energy sector $33 billion, optical fiber, Gwadar port development, and Lahore mass transit system with different investment plans and with different investment amounts. And industrial corporation is basically a plan of medium term plans to long term plans. However, the industrial corporation in this case will contribute hugely when rest of the short term projects and medium term projects are um, finalized. So in this case, CPEC is going to give us give the Pakistan and China huge growth in different sectors of economic sectors and different other types of walks of life. There are 9 special economic zones which are planned to build in Pakistan, and a few of them has already been designed and are allocated. First of them is Mongpandas and Gilgit Baltistan economic zone. Second one is M1, which is Rashakai economic zone in Nusheira. And third one is Mohammedan Marble City and one part of ex Fata, which is a KP, and then Bustan Industrial Zone in Balochistan, and then Mirpur Special Economic Zone, Azad Jammu and Kashmir, then ICT Model Industrial Zone in Islamabad, Lama Iqbal Industrial City M3, which is passing through Faisalabad as well, and then Dabaji Special Economic Zone, which is in Sindh, and last but not least, the industrial park on Pakistan Steel Mills land. So these are the different economic zones. Now let's see how economic zones are covered. So it almost covered the all parts of the Pakistan. And I believe and I predict that there will be more economic zones in the coming time in the Pakistan. So these special economic zones will work as an economy booster if they are utilized efficiently and if they will be used as in their true sense. So this is up to the now to the local governments and local people, industrialists and businessmen, how they utilize it, because everyone will have to play its part in gaining the benefits. This is a map which showing the where we have the projects currently, especially the power plants. We have a lot of different projects here, investment such as the renewable energy power plants, airports, and then some fossil fuel power plants, highways, and then again we have a lot of energy and coal projects here, and nuclear power plant somewhere around Dera Ismail Khan, and then in Quetta we have urban public transport and renewable energy power plants. Gwadar has plenty of projects of seaport, airport, and fossil fuel power plant, and Hyderabad, and in our another economic zone, which is industrial park, lot of projects. These are those projects out of which 50 to 50 to 60% are already implemented and they are working, and the rest of them will be coming soon. So this is one scenario to see how CPEC is working in Pakistan right now. And then have a look at on the right bottom up, right hand top, that the rail, road, ports, and other different types of networks, how they are separated in Pakistan, and how they are working and they will be working, because many of you know that M3 project has already been completed, and Gwadar has already almost completed, and there are a lot of other projects are who already been installed, and few more to go. Then again in Gwadar, this is just a map, but if you find the latest reports and the information from the media and other working papers, Gwadar is already functional. Gwadar is playing its role in its true sense, and now the trade will be started soon. Some of the trade is there, but the rest of the projects, trade, and its full functional plan will be coming very much soon. Because now, why Gwadar is important? Because for the Chinese government, China imports gas and oil from the Gulf region to the Xinjiang province through Malacca Strait, which is almost 12,900 kilometers away from China's eastern coastal line. But the Gwadar port is located only 3,500 kilometers away from Chinese coastal line. So more than 50% decline in the or reduction in the travel time. So it's a significant shortcut route for saving 70% transportation time and cost between China and the Middle East. So almost 9 projects have been planned in Gwadar, and I think 8 out of 9, 8 have already been completed and working. This is a case study which I would like to bring on about the CPEC. One thing I see and I observe that primary data is a very deficient in Pakistan. So information based on the primary data is very limited. Most of the information we do have is in the form of secondary. So this is a study. It is conducted in Pakistan, covering the 3 provinces of Pakistan: KP, Punjab, and some parts of the Sindh. So according to this case study, according to this research, scholars try to understand the satisfaction, dissatisfaction, and the conflict situation of the local people, especially from the people of Gilgit-Baltistan and KP, that how they are feeling because there was a lot of land acquisition and land was taken by the government, and people willingly or unwillingly had to sell their land to the government. So scholars try to find out the satisfaction and dissatisfaction level of those people and how they are thinking about. So majority of local people, whoever sold their land willingly or unwillingly, were somehow satisfied through the process. And people who sold their land unwillingly, some of them, but were still satisfied from the project and the payments they received. And satisfaction was very much dependent upon the availability of job opportunities through economic zones and energy projects. And majority of the people were dissatisfied with respect to improvements in their financial situation, because according to them, CPEC did not contribute in their income in reducing the poverty or providing very comprehensive opportunities through the economic zones or the CPEC. So these are the parts which were covered by this study. So this is a very much interesting study I found, because this is truly based on the primary data, and it was first-hand information. This is a bar analysis of those people, that how they feel, they're satisfied or dissatisfied, and what kind of conflict they have. So some people did have conflict with the land acquisition, with the government policies, and with the distribution of economic zones. They are not happy from the distribution of economic zones. I have given the reference, and you can read this study if you want to later on. So that's all about BRI and CPEC and their advancements. Now let me tell you some opportunities which Pakistan, being a country, can grab, which the researchers can grab in the coming time, and they can plan and see how they want to move in the future and how much benefit they want to gain from this project in the coming time. This is very famous nowadays in China, that in coming 4 or 5 years, these things are going to be hot items in China, and these will be like properly named as made in China, because these are not made in China in a high quantity or at a very good efficiency right now. But in coming 4 to 5 years, these products will be the brand of China. And before getting into those 10 sectors, let me tell you the 4 advantages of China. Why China is more advantageous in the market. First of all, first advantage is of market. China has a very rapid growth rate and already has taken over and already has taken over the market of the enterprises. There is a public-private institutions which are too much into this in the market and into the business, which is one of the advantages of China strategy. They have clear plans for the coming years. They learn from their previous plans because China launched 5 years plan continuously, and they strictly follow it and they achieve it, and they learn the lessons from the previous plans and then they draft the next plan. So system in China is one of the success to key of the success in strategizing this whole plan and in the progress of China. Last but not least, the talent, especially in case of skilled labor. China has a lot, and China still requires a lot from the foreign. Now, these are the 10 key sectors which you can note down, and you can say is a prototype. And in the next coming 5 years, you will see these are the brands of China. Very first one, new information technology. China is already very good in IT, but this will be a brand that China will be at the top in the new information technology. Numerical control tools, aerospace equipment, high-tech ships, railway equipment. China is already self-sufficient in railway, but they want to do more in the next 5 years. Energy saving. China is already doing very well, and they will be at the top in the next 5 years. New materials. Materials related to the IT, materials related to the aerospace, high tech, and every other types of equipment. Medical devices, and we have already seen one trailer of China in producing a vaccine and distributing it to the world. Agricultural machinery. This is where China is also working, and China requires a lot of collaboration and hands in hands from the other countries, especially who are good in agriculture and power equipment. So these are the 10 sectors which will be the brand name of China in the next coming 10 years. And then I again found a very good a comprehensive framework, multi-dimensional infrastructure structural led development framework. This shows us that how China-Pakistan economic corridor could be a game changer, what areas we can focus on, where we have the strengths, where we have the weaknesses and opportunities. This is very interesting, especially in if we look at this in reducing its poverty alleviation. This is interesting. And this is what I already have explained, that Pakistan, the CPEC and BRI, they are very much focusing on exports, GDP, FDI, employment, and definitely when being economists, you guys know better than me that when all these indicators will work together, poverty alleviation will eventually be there. And then through the special economic zones, we will have, and through the development of these infrastructures, these sectors, it's inevitable to stop the economic growth, and it's inevitable to stop the progress. And then there are, of course, I do not deny the agriculture, that there is a huge role of agriculture, especially in case of Pakistan, because Pakistan is an agriculture-based country. This study is available. You can go online and read it. Now, this is a little glimpse. This is not the whole data, but just for 1 year, provided by the BBC this year. This is imports of China. On your left-hand side, you can see the imports in China by products, and on the right-hand side, you can see the countries which are importing to China. Now, which are exporting to China, sorry. So have a look at the big countries: South Korea, Japan, Taipei means Taiwan, USA, Australia, Germany. Where is Pakistan? Nowhere. Pakistan is nowhere to import the things. I think this year we only exported mangoes to China. I heard that in some markets of China there were Pakistani mangoes. But what else? We are not even in 1% somewhere. So we need to look into this. And China is very much open to import Pakistan, and China will be more than happy to have imports from China, the quality products. So we need to think in this area very keenly right now, because it's already late, but still not too late. I'm not an agriculture guy, and I cannot tell much better than you that how to do in agriculture, what things could be exported. But definitely, China feeds its 1.5 billion population thrice a day without any break. So nobody can deny that food is an integral part of Chinese import, and China does not meet its all food requirement on daily basis. China imports in millions of tons of food on monthly basis. So why not? Why not Pakistan can contribute in fruits and vegetable, in dairy, in meat, in rice somehow? Okay, if not rice, then wheat, sugarcane, cotton. If we are self-sufficient, we can export it. This is the basic area. And then tourism. This is one of the parts. Chinese love to do the tourism. Not only Chinese, but the whole world. So tourism is one of the biggest opportunity which Pakistan can grab. Scrap waste in research, and in research specifically, which I understand apart from the agriculture, is mechanization, green energy, carbon neutrality, and CPEC. These are the areas which China nowadays focusing a lot. Many Chinese institutions and universities, and in CPEC specifically, I already mentioned the primary data is missing. There is a CPEC consortium of different Chinese universities and Pakistani universities. So this university teachers, academicians, students, or research institutes can get benefit out of this consortium. It's a two-way traffic. And skilled labor. China is still in need of skilled labor, highly skilled labor. China has a lot of skilled labor, but they need a highly skilled labor, and China's doors are always open for the skilled labor, and they truly respect and love Pakistanis if they are in true sense a really skilled persons. Patents. If we will have, if Pakistan will have patents, then this is a market. China is a market for you guys in that case. And there are some opportunities for students in case of in the form of scholarships, Belt and Road program. There is a one dedicated Belt and Road program under which hundred and thousands of students are granted scholarships yearly basis, except the last year. And then there is exchange program for the students, and many universities has that. And the business market, entrepreneurship, startups. We need the startups. We need to prepare the startups and send up to the Chinese market, and they will excel. We are also going to start from my lab. I'm going to start next year exchange program under CPEC. So let's see. I will announce by that time. So there are jobs as well for the students and for the skilled labor in China. So let's have quickly the concluding remarks. I think I'm running out of time. So BRI is a living truth, and it's contributing to the SDGs and economies of the world. It's a game changer for CPEC is a game changer for both stakeholders, Pakistan and China. China needs to feed 1.5 billion people on daily basis. Can Pakistan cover some exports? If Pakistan can, that will be the marvelous, because Pakistan need to contribute some, and it will be too much for Pakistan. And Pakistan currently is nowhere in top 5 contributors in the BRI project. Academia industry linkages are inevitable along with decision makers. Academia should go to the industry, provide them the practical solutions, and then reach out to the decision makers, and decision makers should reach out to the academia and industry in order to make a triangle and to make this happen. Otherwise, working independently or working separately would not benefit any of these stakeholders. Again, I repeat, the ground truthing data in case of CPEC is missing, it's deficient. So researchers from the university should work on primary data and start working on that. That's all about my presentation. I hope I did not take a lot of time above. Thank you very much. I'm open to the question answer now.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ghaffar, for and enlightening us about CPEC and the opportunities. Um Now I open the house for question and answer session. I would request Professor Dr. Muhammad Ashfaq to say a few words about today's presentation. Sir, over to you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Saab. Dr. Farr, first of all, my sincere thanks to you for sparing, time and delivering this very comprehensive and very good presentation. And it was, very clear, I mean, to everyone, and including the students. So my really appreciation. I don't have the questions, but couple of comments. I'm happy to see you, but I'm, at the same time, I'm sad and happy. Sad that we lost a very good scholar like you, but I'm really very happy to see that you are really contributing at the international level, and you are really contributing in the body of knowledge. So this is of happiness. I'm also, appreciating your buddy, Dr. Khalid Bashir and Dr. Asghar Ali and others who have a very strong linkages with you and with your university, and it will create opportunities not only for the young faculty but also for the students. This is Marcel, and I'm also very happy to see Dr. Khalid Bashir that you have a very diversified audience, not from Faisalabad but also from Rawalpindi, Islamabad, and from Multan and other parts of the country. And today we have around 100 people who participated in this seminar, and I think this is the maximum number since we started this exercise. Anyway, export to China is a contract farming would be a good, and the Chinese, they are very much interested, particularly for the soybean and high value agriculture from Pakistan, and this is a good opportunity. You mentioned about the 10 key sectors, and agriculture machinery is one of them. But I think we also need other technologies which would boost our agriculture sector in Pakistan. So these are a couple of my comments. Once again, thank you very much and nice to see you, Dr. Ghaffar.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, and very nice to see you. Jazakallah.
Thank you, sir. This is a wonderful session. I have joined from the Naval University Multan campus. I have also done master in rural development from this International Islamic University. I appreciated all the efforts made by this, and further, this is a burning issue regarding less developed countries and happening in this world for developing countries. My suggestion is this: according to this webinar, many programs will be had, degree program will be had according to rural development program. That's why our agriculture and related to our rural area may be developed according to these suggestion. I once again I appreciated and appreciated all the teams and effort regarding the burning issue related rural area, especially for the in context of Pakistan. Thank you so much. Thank you all the team.
Thank you, Bilal. Thank you, Professor Dr. Muhammad Ashfaq, for your valuable comments. I would request first Naveed and then Shoaib Nasser to pose their questions, and then I will request Dr. Ghaffar to please respond. First, Naveed, are you with us?
Yes, sir. I am Naveed Alam. I have done MPhil for in UAF 18 to 20 session. My please, sir, I have a question. What is negative impact of CPEC for Pakistan economy?
Okay, thank you very much. Noted. The next question from Shoaib Nasser. If you are listening, Shoaib.
Thank you very much, sir. Indeed, I'm honored and much obliged.
I cannot hear. Can you be louder, please?
Can you please? Yeah.
Can you? Am I audible now?
Yeah, yes, that's fine.
Thank you. Thank you. First of all, again, acknowledgements for the organizers of this session. Much humbled to be a part of it. Really, really valuable. The presentation skills and it was really something that I couldn't left the presentation all the way. I was called upon multiple times sitting in my office, but I had to attend it, and it was really worth of the time. My humble question will only be that there are many research opportunities rising with the initiative being held regarding BRI and other things going on. Dr. Ishfaq has very comprehensively touched that point as well. Related to contract farming, what we are looking forward is that we already have quite a high inflation side on high value crops, maize and potato, and that will be shifting to the rice as well right now. So what I will be seeking is that if Dr. Ghaffar can kindly guide the students to even me, like considering myself a student as well, regarding the research topics that we can deal with in coming future, near future. So it would be very nice if I can have some comments from Dr. Ghaffar on this topic, please. Thank you very much, and congratulations for to the members, to the organizers who have organized such a knowledgeable session. Thank you.
Thank you, Shoaib. I think Dr. Ghaffar, you should respond to the questions and comments now, and then we will have a couple of more questions.
Okay, thank you. I'm responding to Naveed first. Thank you for your comments and about the negative impacts of CPEC. Look, why should we look at the negativity? First of all, we shouldn't look into the being, first of all, being the people connected to academia, we shouldn't be negative at first hand. Second, obviously, there is nothing negative in case of economic growth, in case of social bondings, in case of projects, infrastructure, energy, whatever projects I mentioned, there should be no negativity. However, I have mentioned the risks involved in the projects, which are usually part and parcel of every project, such as I mentioned the risks of fiscal type, environmental, governance, definitely there could be an element of corruption as well. They need to be audited. So there could be the problems during the implementation, during the working of this project. However, I don't think I can say that there is a negativity. Obviously, once it's implemented, all its jolts and all its nuts are screwed. Then let's see, is there any negative, positive? Thus far, if you ask me, I would say not really. Next, responding to Shoaib. Thank you, Shoaib, again for your kind comments and listening to me. But I have mentioned, I have pinned my pain regarding primary data. Primary data is unavailable. Um, if I don't know if you guys try to search online about the publications, the research quality research publications regarding CPEC. Most of those research publications, first, they are not published in top journals. Second, they are not based on primary data. Third, even if there is some that type of data is available, that is collected through the phone calls, emails, or by any other means. So what I want the researchers, the students, the scholars to please go for the primary data, and in that case, work on economic zones, work on energy projects, work on environmental risks, physical risks, work on governance side, work on the collaboration, how academia industry linkages could be improved, how exports could be improved, what opportunities we see there, what are threats there, how we can cope with that, how Gwadar is going to be game changer, how other economic corridors of the world can connect to CPEC, etc. There are plenty of topics I can name, but to begin with, start with good primary data.
Or you are, please unmute yourself.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So there are plenty of topics because the area is huge, starting from Gwadar to Gilgit-Baltistan. So there are a lot of avenues to work. I hope whatever I mentioned, the sectors and the areas, you can begin with any.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Ghaffar. Responding to Naveed's question as well, you have responded very well that we should not be negative. We should be thinking positive. But if we are not going to work, someone else will work. No one will work for us. So someone else will replace us. So we have to work hard, right, to remain in the market. One thing, and second, a lot of students are asking about the certificates. Give us enough time to get the certificates signed. I have already explained that there are a lot happening today in university. There are 3 national international events are going on. So the certificates will be emailed in due course of time within next before the next webinar, definitely. Afaq Shabir Gill, please. Over to you, sir.
Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Welcome.
Sir, about couple
Walaikum
of
salam.
months ago, I read the news that government is going to link agriculture with CPEC. So my question is that in the presence of bureaucrats mafia and the other mafias, agriculture mafias, is agriculture will boom or not? I want to answer you. I want to know about your point of view.
Before Dr. Ghaffar responds to this question, I will respond that Dr. Ghaffar has already responded to this question in the form of corruption and sort of other things, but we have to live with all these evils with us. And your university is already working on soybean and a lot of things. China is one of the largest, perhaps one of the biggest importer of soybean. China is also one of the largest producer of soybean. Despite the fact that it is the largest producer, it is so the University of Agriculture has already started working on soybean adoption in Pakistani climate, and similarly, other institutions must come up. The students should work hard, right, to defeat all these mafias. Dr. Ghaffar, if you want to add something, and then Asif, you will ask the question.
Yes, I want to tell this young boy. I'm sure he's a young boy who is a little bit frustrated from the system and from the things. Um there is one system. We cannot fight with the system, and we cannot blame only the system. If we do that, people will move on. System will keep going on, and you are the guy who will be left behind. So try to cope up wherever you are living in. Try to do that. Try to go with that. And I'm very much hopeful that Pakistan will grow. Pakistan's economy will grow one day, slowly or gradually. Though the process is very slow and there are a lot of hurdles, but one day it will go up. And especially in agriculture we do have everything. Especially, I'm not the guy to comment on agriculture. My colleagues, fellows, teachers, they are much more better than me in agriculture. But still, as per my little knowledge, I can mention that agriculture has huge potential. What we need to do is just to channelize the thing, just to support the fallen pillars, just to make stand up them and bring them and let them be functional.
Dr. Ghaffar, please unmute yourself. Asif. Walaikum assalam. Asif Kamran. Dr.
Yes,
Asif
sir.
Kamran,
It
welcome.
is really
Welcome.
pleasure to see Dr. Ghaffar, and you are doing wonderful job in form of a webinar on a very
Dr. Asif, please unmute yourself. Today, Microsoft Teams is playing with us.
I sometimes raise. Anyways, Dr. Ghaffar, congratulations on a wonderful seminar, and Dr. Khalid Bashir Saab, wonderful initiative in form of some webinars on very important and crucial topics and issues, and really glad to see a lot of students asking very good questions. It was a very good overview about CPEC and a SWOT analysis, sort of SWOT analysis. Yes, we all agree that we should not discuss negatives, but sometimes past experiences push us towards thinking in that way, as we have been dealing with the donors, and the donors have been dealing with us on both sides, not on one side. And being social scientists, we have to explore a lot of issues. अच्छा एक तो ये है कि देखें, if we look into Pakistan's competitiveness vis-a-vis rest of the world, even you take averages, average productivity of any graph, so we are like less efficient than more than 95% countries in the world. And then if you look at global innovation index, Pakistan is somewhere after 100, and China, I mean the other partner, because corridors are for shared prosperity. Corridors is something where you are sharing national sovereignty. It is not only a border where you bridge and you transcend the border.
Doctor, once again, you are muted. Please unmute yourself.
With team. So, I was mentioning that the innovation is the key. So, if we look at our innovation index in all those 100 plus variables, Pakistan is only better in few things, which is publications or academic related things. Otherwise, that's what gives it sometimes some better index value than the last 20-25 countries. But still, we are after 100, ranked after 100. Now, how we can improve our innovation outlook? Basically, only if we have better innovation systems, only then we can talk about those symptoms like less efficiency in productivity, in anything, input use efficiency. So, what would be your comment from your experience of working with in China, that how the innovation system can be somehow mobilized, whether it is in agriculture or in other sectors, that so that we have the basic the underlying causes. If we can work on that, so and other question and the following just comment. What do you think is the lowest hanging fruit? Definitely, we are in the business, and we have seen that if we look at the time before free trade agreement with China in 2007, we had trade deficit of a couple of $billion. And then when we entered the free trade agreement and lowered the tariffs and made all those arrangements, it even expanded. It went to multiple times the deficit went. So how Pakistan is in a very serious situation of balance of payment crisis globally and with all the trading partners. So now, what do you think is the lowest hanging fruit where we can, because we are already in trouble and we immediately want to start with something. There's a good example that China is importing mangoes, but we all know the taste and preference. There may be a Pakistani diaspora in China which has increased, that may be consuming those sweet mangoes or some products, but at large the Chinese preferences and this type of data about culture and then our people understand and immerse that into their production systems. And then looking not only at China, but whole BRI, countries in the BRI loop. So I mean, I am not clear. So the question seems a bit more complex and shows the lack of clarity at my part and the vagueness. So I mean, at the earliest, we need something, some exports. And our quality system and our, this whole thing is very, not acceptable to any developed world. So we are so poor. We do what we are less productive, but at the same time, quality is not at par with world standards. So please, your statement just a comment. There is no direct question, but hope your experience will enrich us and enlighten us. Thank you very much. That's a wonderful webinar, nevertheless.
Thank you very much, Asif bhai.
Uh,
बहुत शुक्रिया. Thank you. Thank
Thank you
you.
very much, Dr. Asif. Before Dr. Ghaffar responds to your questions, points, I would like to offer my sincere apology to our participants who are being removed from the meeting from time to time. Let me tell you that today there is some technical issue with the software because I have most of you have noticed that I am working from two different computers. So from my original ID, from my registered software, I'm unable to open my mic and I'm unable to use my camera. So I have to use another ID. So I'm using the second ID, Muhammad Khalid Bashir, which is also being removed from time to time. It is like I have been removed from the meeting for about a dozen of times. So that is beyond our control. So everyone who was removed from the meeting, that was automatically due to one or the other technical issues with the software. I do apologize for that inconvenience. So now, Dr. Ghaffar, over to you, please.
Thank you, Asif bhai. Thank you very much, and very nice to see you also after a long time. And yes, I can feel the pain a true patriot Pakistani can have and feel and say about the things which you have mentioned already. And I'm almost somewhere in the same stream, and I also think, but let's see, let's pick the things. Rather, I give comment or anything. Let's pinpoint the things. For example, the innovation and productivity. How we can go as per my little knowledge, because I'm not expert on economy, or I'm not a pure economist. But however, let's say the culture of nowadays, it's also very much viral on the social media, that we have a lot of number of publications in academia, and this is a fraud. This is not quantity over quality. But does our system allow us to not to do that? Say there is a one professor who has 5 publications, and there is another one who has 50. System won't care about his quality or his dedication or his truth. It's all about number, and that system gives us, and it means there are some changes need to be made in the system in that sense. Second thing, the about and the innovation, how we can. So then that professor or that lab who is producing 100 papers or 50 papers a year, and what actually the skill they are giving to the students, what do they have in their basket? Do they have those tools in their basket which they can give to the students and ask them to go and fix the world, fix the problem of our economy, fix the problem at least at local level? Do we provide those tools to our students? Do we provide those tools to our technicians? No. What China did in this case, China did not rely on the universities first. China relied on their vocational institutes. First of all, they created a huge number of the skilled labor through vocational institute, without investing a lot of money, without investing a lot of time. Skilled labor of everything, and that is why Apple was in China for the last 10 years. Then engineers, the skilled labor, the innovators, and the productivity was much more higher than even USA. So that's how they attracted. They did not manufacture, or they did not plan or had the company of Apple, but they attracted that big company. One. Second, you mentioned about the low hanging fruits. To me, right now, the low hanging fruits are two. which Pakistani academia, industry, businessmen, students, they can pick them easily. Above all of above is agriculture. It's not only I'm saying it's not only about soybean. I visit markets oftenly, so much so even in Walmart, Tesco, Lotus, Carrefour. These are all the foreigner supply chains, foreigner markets. They do import everything: milk, pulses, spices, tea, coffee, fruits, vegetables. As I mentioned earlier, China feed its 1.5 billion population thrice a day. Okay, their staple food is rice. Fine, we cannot export rice, but it's not only about rice and soybean. They welcome every type of agriculture products provided it's a quality product, provided it meets the standard of China, provided we are meeting their export quality indicators. So we need to improve as well. This is first hanging fruit: agriculture, food products, food commodities, and I do not confine it only to one or two products, but anything is sellable in Chinese market as long as it meets the standards and criteria. Second low hanging fruit is entrepreneurship. The entrepreneurship startups, that is the second one. Any student with intermediate, if he or she knows how to do the startups, or if they have the urge to do the startups, China is the market. And for that, they do not need to be in China specifically. They can do on their laptops, sitting at their home. So these are the two uh, immediate hanging fruits which I could mention. And then above all, the difference between China and other nations, or especially Pakistan. What I have observed in my 4.5 years lifespan in China, they are patriotic. Patriotism in Chinese is above all. I haven't seen that highest level of patriotism in any country I have lived so far. I have been to almost 25 countries. I haven't seen a patriotism as much as in Chinese. And that is how they control the COVID-19 as well. So these are my comments and my suggestions. I might be wrong, but this is my personal experience, and this is where we have to work.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ghaffar, for a very elaborated answer. Just will add a couple of points to it. I just gave an example of soybean. Thank you very much for adding a lot of other examples as well. You rightly talked about rural or other entrepreneurships or startups. The second webinar was about the startups. So everyone can have the recording, can listen or see the recording at our YouTube channel on rural economies. And secondly, I will add about the technical education. Once there were technical high schools in all over Pakistan. So I'm also one of the product of that technical high school in Faisalabad. So we had to take optional subjects of technical side like electrical, mechanical, agriculture. I took agriculture as an optional subject when I was in class 6 to 8 in another government high school named Government AV Modern High School. And then from 9, 10, I switched school to technical high school, and one of my optional subject was agriculture. So we need to revive that technical high school's culture and that side of the uh, primary or higher secondary schooling system, along with the vocational training centers. With this, I will. There is one more question from Abu Bakr, and then we will conclude. Abu Bakr, please.
Thank you very much, sir. I want to ask, I am from social sciences. My question is, what sort of primary data is needed for CPEC projects, considering social sciences applicants for scholarship? Please elaborate it.
Okay, well, Abu Bakr, I did not mention that you need primary data for scholarships. Why you have, receive or gain or try for scholarship? Because uh, you want to go abroad or you want to stay in house and do some research and then produce out of that. So primary data comes then. For you, if you are looking for scholarship, then you are not the guy who needs a primary data at this stage. The primary data is for those who are already working on CPEC and want to do their thesis, such as PhD thesis or master thesis in the coming time. They need to collect primary data. And that primary data I already mentioned could be in multiple fields and in multiple ways, such as look at the governance side, risks, FDI, specifically if we speak of economics department, energy projects, their feasibility, gather ports trade, how trade is going to impact, what exports we can, what farmers want to export, what farmers wants to seek out of this CPEC. Go into the field. Do not go to Islamabad. Islamabad, you will get only second-hand reports. Go to the Gilgit-Baltistan. Ask them what happened after 1 year or 2 years when their land was land acquisition happened. The land was sold. Now, how do they feel? What type of job opportunities have been created through CPEC and what they are looking forward?